Hello friends, this is the lesson number 23 in this series of criticism in English literature. In the previous lessons we discussed the Romantic Age poet as a critic, and now in this lesson we shall discuss George Eliot as a critic. What George Eliot has to say about writing, how one should write. As you know that the pen name is George Eliot and the real name is Mary Ann Evans. She chose this name because at that time, what was the period? It was almost second, or you can say the later half of the 19th century. And during that period, the female writers were not considered seriously. And most of that time, their works not even, you can say, considered by the other male writers, or they were not given that much importance even in the market. So that is why Mary Ann Evans, she chooses the male name as her pen name. So we most of the time address her as George Eliot. And now about her famous work we shall discuss separately, as I am saying about most of the writers, that in British literature we shall consider her famous work like Middlemarch, Adam Bede, and the famous work Mill on the Floors. Here we shall discuss about his views, but first there is one more important work, that is translation she has done. Life of Jesus is a work written by David Strauss in the year 1846. It was translated by George Eliot. And there is one more work, that is Essence of Christianity. It was a work written by Ludwig Feuerbach, and it was also translated by her. But as far as her opinion or views are concerned about writing and about imagination or realism or whatever, we have her opinion in the work Adam Bede. Adam Bede, there is also a movie on this work. You can watch that movie and you can really understand about her work, because she really considered that people should be realistic, because in everyone we see that there are qualities and merits and demerits. One cannot be so perfect. So we should accept the people as they are. So these sort of views are given by her. It is also called as aesthetic theory. Aesthetic theory by George Eliot. And in this, as said, that it is a faithful account of men and things as they mirror themselves in the mind. You see something before you, any person or anything, and the picture gets into your mind about their you can say behavior or so, and the same thing you have to portray in your work. This is all. So as you perceive the things, you should write. You should not write just ideal things, that I have to produce only ideal characters, good characters, awfully perfect characters. No, simply write about the people, or write about the ordinary things as you see them. Like in a story, we see that in some of the movies even you find that the hero or heroines are shown so much beautiful, or even the heroes are shown so much powerful, but it is not reality. And sometimes the people are shown so much good or ideal, but it is not reality. In reality we see how the things are. We should write them accordingly, not so ideal. So if there are bad qualities, there are bad people, or there is the mix-up of the good qualities and bad qualities, so we should collectively take them, and then we should write about those characters and whatever we have. So that sort of things she talks about. So she says that one should be writing realistic things. So she is talking about realism. Artistic pursuit of truth is based on direct experience of the world. Artistic pursuit of truth is based on direct experience of the world. We experience the world. After experiencing the people, the world, or whatever, then we tend to form an opinion. So we should write about that on the basis of the experience what we have got. It is not that we are going for idealism, that always writing good, good, good. No. Try to be truthful. In truth, there can be bad things, there can be good things, and there can be the collective composition of the both. So it is difficult to write about good things, not good things, sorry. It is difficult to write about truthfully. If you see, if someone is having good qualities and bad qualities, most of the time when the people write any article about any person, if there are good qualities or bad qualities, either they are writing only good qualities, or they are writing only the bad qualities. But not too many people you will find that they are equally taking good qualities and bad qualities and then writing about both these aspects. Have you ever seen people talking to you, talking about your good qualities and your bad qualities at the same time? No. Sometimes you see that one category of person, they are talking about your good qualities, always praising you, and another category of person, they are talking about your bad qualities and always criticizing you. But have you ever seen any person that at the same time he is telling you about both of your merits and demerits? This is truthfulness. So that truthfulness is rare even in the literature, she says. So one should write truthfully. It is difficult, and to create falsehood. Falsehood means either saying only good things or bad things. It is so easy. So that is she saying that one should write truthfully. So for writing about truthfully, one should rely on his own direct experience. And if we want real character or real, you can say, the figures from the life, then it should have both good and bad qualities. So this can be done first with the direct experience, then to write truthfully about them. And second thing, she also says that we should accept people. Even in real life, we should accept people with that imperfection. Means if some people are having 10 good qualities and 10 bad qualities, we should accept them as they are. We are not always rectifying them, correcting them. Okay, if it is possible, one can do. But we should not reject people on the basis of with some merits and some demerits. We should accept them truthfully. Otherwise, it will create falsehood. If you won't accept people for the demerits, they will try to pose themselves with merits only and try to hide their demerits. So that is why she says that we should accept people as they are. And then she also talks about how to write about in poetry or even in prose, that ordinary things should be written. As William Wordsworth also said that we should write about ordinary things that the common people experience in their life. So similarly, she says that one should write ordinary things about ordinary events of common life. And that is the beauty of our life. If we just write about common things, that is the beauty. It not about the great events. Even on the small events we should write. That will really make our work great. It is not that writing about great things will make your work great. No. Even writing about the ordinary things will give your work or put your work to great heights. And after this aesthetic theory, the 3 or 4 points that we discussed, there is one more essay written by her, Silly Novel by Lady Novelist. So this may be called also as the work of criticism, feminist criticism or feminism, that she is criticizing the female writers. So firstly, we have considered several writers. So she is the first female writer. About criticism, in 20 odd writers we have discussed. And second, she is writing about females. Earlier, no writer wrote about male or female separately. In criticism, we saw 20 writers. So she is talking about the female writers. So in 19th century, the half of the 19th century later, she was after 1815 or so, she was quite busy with her work. And during that period, you can imagine who were the other writers like Brown sisters, and even in the early part of the 19th century we had Jane Austen and other few writers. So considering all them, what she has made some opinions that first, the female writers are writing unrealistic things. That is why they are not accepted by the male critics or male writers. So she is criticizing the female writers for writing unrealistic things, like the novels of Jane Austen, always going in one flow. Similar sort of pattern in each of the novels, with the same sort of female character in each of the novel. So she is saying that these women or these female writers are not justifying with their writing. And that is why the men or the male writers has not given them any importance. She calls them mind and millinery novels. Mind and millinery novels. Mind you know, millinery, you can search this word on the dictionary. In the 18th or even in the 19th century, there were the women, they used to keep hat, sometime wearing on the head or sometime even holding in the hand, and they used to wear you can say a band on their waist and having a hat. So that hat is called as millinery. So these novels are just that useless things, mind and millinery novels, whatever these female writers has written, because there is not that much importance in their work, in their quality. There is no such quality in their works. And for millinery, we can also take that in the 19th century there were used to be many millinery shops. There used to be hats available for women, and all these were so decorative and attractive, but there was no proper use for them. So they were not any worth. They were of not any worth. So that is why she called them useless things. Mind and millinery novels means these are useless novels. That's all. And after this, then she criticized these female writers, as she says that their novels are overdressed or impractical and similar sort of plot, as I already mentioned, especially in the Jane Austen's novels and other writers. Heroines are so much beautiful as pictured in the novel, and wealthy and sometimes virtuous too. And in common stories, like they used to have suitors, or maybe choosing a wrong man for their marriage in the first marriage mostly, and then there are change of events, then she becomes educated or learning more things, and then standing in their life, getting maturity. So these are the common concept or common plot that we find in these female writers according to George Eliot. In George Eliot's views, she says that all these are just foolish things. She says that when lady or any woman is educated by their parents or by her parents, and after the education, getting education, she is writing such foolish things. She is not justifying to her education, and that is why the male writers are not giving any importance to their work. So these female writers are wealthy, okay, showing off, or they sometimes trying to, you can say, show off their knowledge, but that really hurts the cause of education. Because if, for example, if any female writer is producing according to, as George Eliot is saying, that foolish things, even the male writer, when sees see that a woman is writing such foolish things, how would he encourage the female to study? He would say that if after getting education you have to write these bullshit things or these stupid things, why to encourage your study? So that is why George Eliot feels that the female writers are of her, you can say, generation, they are simply means hurting their own cause of education. So in the end she says that to get any sort of criticism, praise or any sort of compliment, these female writers should look into themselves, and then what is the way for that? They should write, these female writers should write good things naturally, try to write truthfully, not just female oriented things, try to write the realistic things as they see in the world. Because most of the female writers, even of the 19th century and late 18th century, you see that they are writing just female oriented things. If they are writing into the particular category and particular mindset if they have, they won't be able to write good things at all. So in the end she says that writing realistic things, truthful things is not a bed of roses. So it has to be a difficult task, and the female writers should accept these tasks. She says that real world is not all roses, not always a good thing, not always goodness is there. There are bad people, good people. So the female writers should accept both things and should write accordingly and truthfully. And that is all we have about her views. Mostly she has given her main stress on the female writers, criticism of most of the female writers. And then we have one question in the past about her criticism. There is a work, Silly Novel by Lady Novelist, and who is the writer of this work? George Eliot. So that's all we have for this lesson. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson, and pretty soon we have the next lesson. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.